a community where we can solve those three challenges that I mentioned. I said in Mikkeli, now in relating to the foreigners, there are three challenges. We have isolation from ourselves. We don't communicate with ourselves as foreigners, but we also don't communicate with the locals. Always we are closed behind the doors. But number two, I said we have lack of access of information to the places where we can get the services that should be good for us. Like for example, I mentioned the office. I don't know how many of you. Is there any one of you who is student now? Yeah. Okay. Non-students. Okay. So, but how many of you know there is such thing as TE office? Do you know TE office?
I know there is one, but I haven't.
You haven't been there. What about you? Do you know anything about TE office? No idea. What about you? No idea.
I just heard it exists, but I've never been there.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I've been talking about, that TE office is one of the very important offices, especially for us, because they have programs which they help us to look for jobs. They have projects, and once you go to this, now depending, I don't know, maybe depending also on the expertise of that person who is dealing with you, but they help you to look for jobs, and sometimes they might even, speak on behalf of you to the employers. And I knew it existed in 2021. Now imagine from 2018 to 21, I was looking for jobs myself. I got nothing. I applied for volunteering positions. It was hard to get because they said we cannot pay you we cannot allow you to work without pay. I said, okay, now give me a job. They say we cannot employ you unless you have experience. So I was locked. So this is the reason I wish to have these meetings where we can, now I think they sit in the seat of locals. They know how things, maybe they don't know for real, but being your home, I think you know better than we do. And there are some tips which you can share with us, which might be more helpful to us. So that's the main reason also for the meeting. So if you have any questions that you might want to know from them, most of you were not here while he was presenting. He's Matti, he's General Secretary of Mikkeli University Consortium. It's composed of 3 universities, Aalto University, okay, yes, and the third one?
Lappeenranta University of Technology.
Yes. Yes, so he's there. I think you could ask him any questions relating to what we are supposed to discuss today. And also Yana, she introduced herself. She's working on a project, Mikkeli, which is under the city. So if you have any questions, you can ask, but I will be proceeding to ask them. Could we get the second microphone, if it's possible?
There is one.
Okay.
You can use it.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. You're set there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you have any questions, you can ask. But I will proceed, and we can discuss for how long. I need to watch my time.
Maybe you can continue.
Okay, so we only have about 20 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes, I'm saying.
And I have to mention, when you said that TE office, 2025, it will be under the city of Mikkeli. So it's a big change that is happening. So all the services go under the city of Mikkeli.
Yeah, and about the TE office being kind of unknown, I can of course do my share to kind of contact them and say that maybe you guys should do a little bit more about being more known among people here in Mikkeli. And now that it's transferring to the city of Mikkeli, so there's a kind of good chance to kind of start over in order to get the awareness of that office. But I'm a member of the sort of advisory board of the ELY-keskus that runs the office at the moment, so I can deliver a message about this.
Okay, so maybe my first question would be for you, Matti. You have international students there, and how do you normally prepare them when they are graduating now, especially for those who would want to stay in Mikkeli? What do you normally advise them? Do you have any programs to prepare them to go into the employment industry?
Well, what comes to the university studies here, well, they are fairly limited. We mainly do research and development here in Mikkeli, but what studies we have in the universities, I mean the science universities, the mobility of students is higher than it's in the lower degrees. So when it comes to the universities, the students usually go, I mean, they spread out in different places. And in case of Mikkeli, what we have here, we have other universities. They have a bachelor's degree in international business, but the thing is that they continue the master's programs that are located in Otaniemi. So they come here for 2.5 years, very intensive studies, and then they continue to Otaniemi. What we try to do is, of course, to create more links during the studies. We know that some of them come back here to Mikkeli. They have really good impression about Mikkeli. But we try to kind of create more links during the studies so that even more good kind of find opportunities here.
Okay, thank you. Any question, guys?
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned. Thank you. You mentioned there would be a program at Stella. Can you throw some light on that? What kind of program?
It is like basically for employers and employees to meet each other. So there are many companies. The event is Rekker on, and there is you can see the ad on the table. And if you go to the website, there is a list of all the companies that are attending in the event next Thursday.
Okay, so maybe to top up on that question also, what now do you think, Jana, for we as foreigners in Mikkeli specifically, what should we do in order to be more close to these job opportunities that are going around?
That's a very difficult topic, because what we have heard is that many people are very active and searching for jobs, sending applications, like so many applications. So it has to be from the other side also, that the employers find it somehow difficult, or this is not not an easy topic, because there are people having like so many talents, and I just what I have, like my personal opinion, is that some companies might find it a bit difficult somehow to how is it when there's an employee that doesn't understand everything in Finnish, for example. So perhaps there should be more support for companies and employers to kind of make it easier to recruit. Yeah.
Okay, maybe Martin, if you can add something.
Well, I was just thinking about the kind of the structure of the employment market and the businesses here. The local businesses, they are mainly really small. So we don't have that many bigger companies that have a lot of jobs. So it's sometimes quite difficult for small business or entrepreneur to hire first staff member, first employee. And that itself, I mean, that basically no one's fault, but it's a structural thing that we have here. And it doesn't only concern international community, but it concerns the Finns, I mean the locals as well. And hiring a first staff member is a difficult thing. It can be a risk for some small enterprise, and I know that many of the small businesses don't take that risk. They are happy with how they are now. They employ themselves, and well, that's of course perfectly fine too. But that's something I would like to highlight here, that the structure of the business sector here in Mikkeli.
Okay, now additional question to that. Now, speaking specifically of language, we have all seen that language is one of the key factors in affecting the difficultness of accessing these job opportunities. But one thing which I observed myself, I've spent like 3 years reading and studying Finnish myself. I've attended several Finnish classes, but it has been very, very difficult to speak because I was not associating myself with speaking communities. But recently, after I started, when we came to Mikkeli, we started a Finnish speaking group, and I saw enormous improvement in speaking Finnish. Actually, I could sense that improvement. And so from that, what I noticed is that as foreigners, we need more to be engulfed in the Finnish-speaking community in order to speak better than to study it outside. But the job industry demands that we study the Finnish outside and we go into the speaking community while we are already speaking Finnish. So, as foreigners, how do we break this shell? How do we solve this problem? Maybe starting from you, Jan.
You have quite a question. Not so easy ones. I think it's the whole community that has to be part of it. And what I have noticed is that it's so easy to switch to English, even though there is someone who should practice Finnish. It's so easy to switch, and then you cannot really learn. So, but yeah, I think it's partly like a culture here that we are not so active. Like after work, people go home and spend time with their family and maybe go to some hobbies or so, but yeah, like community, to be more active in that way with the neighbors or whatever. I think, yeah, we Finnish are not so good with that, or getting to know new people. I think there's like one side of that as well, and then it can be a bit scary to get to know someone. Maybe you don't know what kind of background or what kind of culture, so it might feel a bit scary that how should I behave or approach, or what can I say, or there can be something like that also.
Yeah, I could continue from there. Generally in Finland, people do speak quite good English, quite widely, and that also causes problems. I mean, whenever we have somebody who doesn't speak Finnish or speaks just a little bit, we use English, and we are not doing a favor in that sense. But I think there's also room for learning and improvement in the employer's side, with the languages, about the demands of languages, because of course the practice is the best way to learn, and how we can create possibilities to kind of lower the barriers to get kind of in and to learn languages. But then what everybody could do is to go and join different groups, hobbies, meet new people that way, and kind of get to environment where you basically, well, people do speak English, but you kind of need to kind of maybe struggle in the beginning, but need to kind of focus on getting things or getting kind of communication in Finnish. There are some sports clubs, they organize open events where you can go to run with the others. I think those could be good chances to kind of meet new people and get kind of to learn about the local life here. But it is true what you said, that the life is kind of a circle from work to grocery store and then to hobby and then to home. And I've experienced that, or experienced that every day nowadays. And we've been trying to organize, within the community that we have events after work, but we never get anybody there because it's kind of the routine, so to say.
Rita, I noticed you're here. Could you please join here? Maybe you might need to answer some questions. Starting with the one that I posed.
I'm sorry I'm this late, but I did work until 6 o'clock. My office is right here.
Okay, so I asked about the language that the employment industry, it's almost demanding the foreigners to speak Finnish before they can be employed. Of course, we have some people who have been fortunate to be employed even with their poor Finnish language, but in general, we are supposed to have the good Finnish language. But my assumption is that if we were to get into the job first, because for me job is simply another community, that would be easier for me to learn Finnish faster than if I'm learning on my own inside my own room. I'm not able to hear, I can only read. And so how do we solve this problem as foreigners? What should we do to suit ourselves better?
Well, I would like to have this responsible on our side, on Finnish people's side, because it's up to us how we treat people with different languages, and it's not kind of I think we have to be open-minded, and we have to be warmly welcoming new people here. And I really think it's our responsible, because it's via us that you learn the language. It's via us you get to know our community, our whole organization, how we work, how we live here, our Finnish kind of lives. And it's very often, as Jana said, it's very often very different, because we are not that social as people, especially during this awful winter time when it's so cold and dark all the time. So of course it's responsible for newcomers as well, because it needs kind of a very active mindset. It depends on you, and it depends on Finnish people's minds as well. But so it's kind of mutual thing as well. But I think really we have to be more we have to focus more on that language side. Yeah.
Yes, maybe you could also use 1 minute to introduce yourself, because we don't know yet.
Okay, yes, I can see some people I don't know yet. So my name is Riitta Lappi. I work here for Mikkeli City, Mikkeli municipality since last year as an integration service coordinator. So my work includes especially refugees, helping refugees and asylum seekers, not asylum seekers, but all those people like Ukrainians with home residence in here in Mikkeli, with housing, education, kindergarten, hobbies, etc. Integration into our city, but in a bigger way or in a bigger picture, I think we should, that Mikkeli city needs also people for these services for all foreigners, all people speaking foreign languages, because they are the key partners, in fact, because they are the ones who can climb higher, who can more easily and more quicker find their path. I'm not saying that refugees are like very slow learners or slow people integrating into our services or into our community, but still they are like a minority. But we are working because the law says so, and it's our duty to do so. But on the other hand, we have like 3 or like 5 times more different kinds of people living here with foreign languages. It means students, it means people coming here because of their spouse, because of their work, because of their interest in living here in Finland. And it's quite challenging to find the right path to find information enough. Because if you have the key to the information, you find the information, then there's no point, there's no, it's so much easier, because you can then react or live more independently. But if you are always kind of relied on somebody giving you that advice or that information, then it's not a good way to handle this situation.
Yeah, any short question? Yes.
First, I wanted to thank you for your time, for your given time. And second, I wanted to ask you, if you are a refugee, we have one problem. Some of us, maybe they graduate university for their country. And example, if myself, and I graduate university for my own country, but due to more human reasons, and I left my country and I request in Finland for refugee. And the main problem is there is no any place that we can learn directly to the language. So now I am a student, but I am a student at adult school, just like studying for basic English, basic mathematics. So I'm greater than that. But the reason that caused me to sit at that class is the needing for learning for the language. So what plan for you to the refugees to get special colleges for the language, to get a language, Finnish language, only for Finnish language? The next question is, if some refugee, just like me, those who graduated or have a special skill, and those wanted to continue for their previous skill, what's the plan for you to help those like me? Thank you.
Thank you. And before you answer, Martin asked me that he was supposed to leave by 6:30. Please.
Around that, yeah, but I'm...
Okay, when you're ready, please. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. About language courses, I'm not sure, do you have better information on that? I've heard that there are some problems with the availability of courses at the moment, so it takes time to get to those courses. That's what I've heard. But then what comes to if you have a degree in the university already, there is a system in Finland where you can get either the degree or certain parts approved in Finland.
Yes, I agree. I think
so. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that there is a system of doing that, so that you don't have to kind of study everything from the beginning. But of course, there is kind of certain requirements here that they require the kind of the studies to meet the Finnish requirements. That's why we have these kind of systems here, so that we can kind of identify the skills and the courses that are kind of adaptable here in Finland. It runs under the Ministry of Education, as I remember, but I don't have more exact, precise details on that.
Yes, in fact, I was talking about this question, your feelings today with the T-office officer, and because especially if you have graduated from health and social care, healthcare sector, the requirements in Finland are really very high, and they are strictly guided by the law as well. But if you have graduated from other sectors, then this kind of I don't remember the exact term how to call it, but to kind of define what kind of or what level is your diploma from your home country and compared to Finnish one. And in my opinion, the more important is that you have a diploma from an academic status or level, depending of course on the field. So because on my behalf, I think that every time the academic studies give you the tools. So with those tools you can do like whatever you want. They are not the tools for repairing a car. They are not the tools for painting the wall, but they are the tools for creating your professional life and your career. But of course, that's a very tricky question. But in Finland, we have universities or universities of applied sciences with SIMHE. We call it SIMHE, but it means that in those schools they are prepared to make the comparison between diplomas from abroad and diplomas in Finnish ones. But the problem is that it's quite costly. It's something like 500 euros that you get this comparison done. And when it's done, maybe there are quite a lot of issues you have to restudy or such. And especially that's the thing in social and healthcare sector. Yeah, it's because of the law. We have quite strict laws, yeah. But about these language courses, I would say that we are really in need of more practical language courses. And we have been talking about this system. Now you may stay until 3 or 4 years at relations, or when joining some different kinds of activities or work experiences or such. So it's a quicker way, and I think with this renewal of our administration, the aim is to go towards that system, because otherwise we don't get enough integration or integrated people here within this shorter period of integration time.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
I want to talk about is it Maggie?
Mikkeli.
Maggie. Okay, the company. So when you mentioned it, I quickly Googled and then I saw some information about it. And in fact, you also mentioned that you do some web development, graphic development, and stuff for people who are in need of them. My question is, do you get people to also assist? So let's say someone has that skill in web development or graphic development. Are you open to allowing that individual to come in to help? Or is it that you have your people that assist in that, and so no one may be allowed to come in? I don't know if you get my question. Should I ask it again?
Yes.
Okay. So when you mentioned it, I Googled and I saw that you do web development, graphic development, and graphic designs for people or who are in need of them. I don't know if I got it correctly, or maybe I can check it one more time. And then,
That's something.
yes. So
There's a couple mages within the team.
okay. So well, could it be that that's kind of different? Okay. Yes.
Because it's Mikkeli city.
Okay, so here are all services here. Web development and design, branding and strategy, graphic design, copyright and photography, marketing and consulting. Well, I don't know it. Probably that is from a different city.
Maybe if you write Mage Hanke, then it brings you this Mage Manhamutian, something like that.
Okay,
But
so
probably that's
But
still the question is good.
yes, but I think you mentioned that you do, like in this digital age, you assist people when they need help. So, of course, that might quite differ from what I had in mind, because if you were doing web development and graphic design for people who are in need, my question then would have been, if someone has that skill, are you open to allowing that individual to also come and offer some assistance? Or, yes?
What we do in the project is that we develop counseling and guiding, and of course, for example, if there's someone coming to the International Youth Cafe and the person has like some questions or issues, so we try to find the right place to guide that person and try to find solutions, and so
Okay. So I guess there are several migrants around. Okay, so I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, but I think I have something to add to what you are saying. As little as I understand, so Mage, one of the tasks of Mage Hanke is to provide information to the people, especially the international, how to help them to adapt to the environment. And one of the basic tools, I think, for the project to be very effective is the use of digital technology, digital marketing, to promote it in the social media and something like that. So I think perhaps his question would also suit in if he can have any position to assist in the digital marketing services. For example, you're about to distribute this information, welcome to Mikkeli information to the people. He is, I think, the web developer, right? You could do some web developing.
Yeah.
Maybe using some innovative ways, you might come up with simpler and more interactive ways to help distributing this information digitally, maybe through blogs, posts, or something like that. Just my imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, so maybe this would be my last question. Starting with you, Matt. I think I read one report from one person from Alto. I think he graduated something, maybe 2000. Around 2000. And so in his actually it was a report, and he said only about 20% of all the job publications they are true. Almost 80% of job announcements, they are not real in the sense that it's more depending on the closed networks. That maybe they might announce we need maybe we need a programmer, but in the real sense, they are searching in their networks. They know that they can get somebody they trust, and once they get somebody they trust, then they would hire him. But this, of course, announcement goes to the public. So perhaps most of us would apply for the jobs which already has its own closed network. Do you have any comment on this? And if this is true, what should we do?
I don't know about the percentage of the share of that, but there is that. So that there's a job kind of open, but there's a kind of, they have to be, in some cases, they have to be open, especially in the public sector. But they might have somebody already in their mind, but they need to have it open. And it is a difficult question. But then again, there are a lot of jobs also in the public sector that are not announced at all. And for example, my case, how I got started here in Mikkeli, I was working at the Helsinki School of Economics doing Russia-related projects and trainings. There was no job available. I just went and asked, but I was there in the right time. That's how I got in there.
Okay. Okay, Jana?
I don't know if there's much to add on that, but maybe it depends of the company maybe you need to have sort of right connections for many of the jobs. So it's much easier when it's more than just application on paper, that you perhaps already know someone. And
So how do we get that connection?
That's the question.
You just call them and ask for connection?
Well, one possibility could be also through like volunteering, because there are many possibilities to do volunteering for different organizations. So that might be one option, to meet people and get to know organizations and then be able to ask about different options. And yeah, so that could be one.
Actually, you made a good point. I mean, in general, it's about getting to know people in different environments and different places. That's how you make connections.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Rita?
Yeah, these issues are very familiar to me with my previous work relations. I have been working with these issues for years, and I have always offered, as I have been working like a project manager or such, I have always said that I will offer my name like a reference, as we got to know each other with Ezekiel. That's what I did as well. And in fact, when meeting or discussing with people searching for a job and giving my name or my project's name to that person, I have already have some calls from the companies that, do you know this guy, or do you know what kind of people these are or such? And I have said that yes, I know Ezekiel quite well, but I have not been his boss, but I know kind of what kind of a person he is somehow, and he's a real person looking for a job or such. And it's the same question, in fact, for everyone here. If you don't have any network, it's so hard to find a job. And the lack of announcement for jobs and for job offers, it's because of our system. That's what I would like to say, and to be frank with it. Because nowadays there are so many kind of obligations for job seekers to seek for job, like 3, meaning 4 as per month. So you just kind of send your application to whatever job offers, and then the companies are really like stuck with all of those hundreds of job applications, and it's really a bad situation. So it's that's why the companies perhaps are a bit scary to open their job positions. And when you told about how did you find your path here in Mikkeli, I would like to say quite the same, because when searching for a job myself, I did have some connections already, but when starting with a bit older age, I would like to say, I just made a list of all the companies or all interesting organizations where I would like to work. And I just started calling them, sending them emails, recalling them, promoting myself to those. And eventually I got very many no's, or not yet, or not now. But eventually I got a call, are you still available? Now we could like to hire you or such. So it's a really hard work, and it's difficult to find those open positions, but if you start kind of thinking from your own side, what are the interesting places you would like to work? Or what are the things you are interested in? How could you, and also assisting to all these events which are open to different people. It's very useful for you just to be active, show up there and start talking to people and such. But it's really hard work.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Can I add just
any
one?
question? Yes. Just a second, or maybe you can add a little bit, and then Jana will ask.
Yeah, I just thought that Rita made a very good point, that when you're really interested in something or some topic, or you have skills in certain things, that people can actually usually see that from you, kind of light up. If it's something that you're very interested in, it shows. So that's a really good point. Yeah, to go to that direction you are actually interested in, and not just apply for.
Not just for surviving.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I was just going to add to this. I think you're absolutely right. Everything starts from meeting people and having something that you want to do. You need to tell it to other people. Now, when I heard Ezekiel singing over here, I was just blown away. Wow. I'm doing this audio engineering stuff, and I'm working at local restaurants. And one restaurant is opening at the Rantakylä next month, and they're working out ideas. What are we going to do for the shows? They have some shows coming up. They don't have any club nights yet. Wow. Maybe something like a blues jazz night.
Some connection already, yeah.
And over here, doing the graphic design and websites. Well, I'm working on IT, so I know who needs this kind of services.
And
So you
also
need to
media
make the
guys.
connections first, and then the jobs may be coming to you. And my question would be, what is the current state for lost the word, immigrants to the self-employment, either as an individual or as a business owner? Yeah. So yeah. So how can immigrants do legally work by themselves as a freelancer or an individual person on a small business which is so small that you don't need that kind of hard law regulations owning a real business, if there is such a way?
Yes, very good.
Yes, I have been working with that issue as well with my colleague. There's a possibility to start like a small business via this light entrepreneurship, which is kind of a tryout to establish your own company, and it's good for small services, etc. And you can find very good information about that also from the internet. You can also find information how to calculate your fees, for example, because that's a very difficult part. How to calculate that you really can earn some part of your life via your services. But I can also I remember one example very well. A young Afghan boy or a young adult who was so eager to start his own company as a restaurant or owning a restaurant. And when talking with him, my colleague, who was more responsible on this guiding side or counseling side, she said to him that yes, you have a very good idea, but at this point, when you don't have that much knowledge about this restaurant business or this restaurant making food and cooking and serving, etc., why don't you start by, it's a bit slower path, but why don't you start by learning it at school first? So he got to SEDU to have this professional education first. It took him, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years, but then he have now, I think he has now several restaurants already. It was, and that's a very good example also that you start with a light entrepreneurship way, or you try to find work in your field you are interested in, because also this Finnish system requires quite a lot of paperwork from the companies, and there are quite strict rules for how to do that kind of entrepreneurship also. So it's much easier to get your dreams into reality if you have some kind of experience doing that here in Finland first.
Yes, thank you so much. And actually, I said that was very important questions because one of the things which I noticed and I discussed a little with Jan is that I've tried also to look into this Talent Hub project. I think it's across Finland. And one thing which I noticed, I may not be correct, is that more promotion of talents is towards seeking jobs. But what I know is that perhaps not everyone could be interested in being employed. Perhaps there are some people who might have some talents which do not fit in an industry. And for example, I said, I know a lot of people like me who are foreigners here in Mikkeli. We have master's graduates, we have PhD graduates, but we are not employed for several reasons. But perhaps we have some talents which might excel if maybe we had gone through a different paths. And so the question was, this Talent Hub, do they also promote entrepreneurial activities?
Yes, this kind of Talent Hub method or way to promote migrants and their talents, their skills and their activities. There are multiple ways how to work on it, and there in these bigger cities there are these International House Helsinki or Talent Hub Eastern Finland or such. And they all work a bit differently, but yes, the main idea is to kind of create activities, to create common knowledge and common information about all these talents coming from abroad, and how to get their skills and wishes out to these Finnish societies, and also to create these some social activities among these international people, but also towards Finnish people. So this would be like inclusive societies.
Okay, perhaps Matti, now final words. What would you now tell us, taking into account everything that we've discussed? What advice would you give a person like me, a foreigner in Mikkeli, concerning seeking for jobs, sweating in the environment?
I'm not sure we have any more to add here, but I would like to thank you for the invitation to participate here and talk in this event. And like you mentioned, I was also blown away by his singing. I really liked it.
Thank you.
And just wanted to ask, do you make your own songs too?
Not yet, but
looking forward to hear about that. Seriously. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, Jan, if you have any final words to add.
Just to thank, and I'm really happy that this was possible to arrange. So then the next one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rita, final words.
Thank you for this event, and I hope that these kind of meetings and events would spread around, because in Mikkeli there are very different kinds of foreigners, and they need different kind of groups and social activities. And I know that in this Mikkeli international community there are very many Finnish people also interested in having this mutual connection.
There are many different international communities in Mikkeli.
Yes.
And one question is, how do we get these different communities to interact also between each other?
Good point, yes. Good point.
Okay, but good luck, Ezekiel, and you all.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have some snacks there. Please feel free to eat, and I think they can take some home, right? Yes, feel free to take some home. And so we are close.